The city of Nuvira floated above a glowing blue planet, suspended on massive anti-gravity platforms. Lights from alien spacecraft mingled with human ships in the sky, creating a spectrum of colors that made the horizon look like a painting. For Alex, it was just another evening of work and wandering. But tonight, he had something entirely different in mind. Alex was not an ordinary human. He was clever, quick with his hands, and able to fix almost anything. Machines, computers, gadgets, he had a way with them that made him almost magical in the eyes of the aliens. Yet, among humans, he was considered quirky, the kind of person who could make a joke at the most serious moment. That quality made him both loved and slightly irritating to his friends. Leora was another story entirely. She was tall, graceful, with silver-tinged skin and eyes that reflected the stars themselves. She was not human, but one of the younger diplomats of the Valerian species, known for their precision and intelligence. Humans often found her intimidating, and even some aliens gave her cautious respect. She was brilliant, yes, but her seriousness could make her seem cold. They had grown up together, in a strange mix of friendship and rivalry that was impossible to explain. Where Alex would make a sarcastic joke, Leora would correct him in a perfectly calm tone. Yet, somehow, it worked. Somehow, they trusted each other more than anyone else in the galaxy. That evening, Alex found Leora standing near the edge of Platform 7, staring down at the city below. The wind of the high-orbit platform whipped her cloak slightly, making her look like she belonged in a painting. Alex approached, hands shoved into his jacket pockets, grinning. "I was wondering if someone as serious as you ever relaxes," Alex teased. Leora glanced at him, one eyebrow rising. "And what makes you think I need to relax?" "You clearly do. Humans are supposed to have fun, you know," Alex said. "I could help." "I doubt that," she replied smoothly. Alex smirked. He leaned casually on the railing next to her. "Then maybe I'll just pretend to be your boyfriend. You know, help you practice social skills. Humans do relationships all the time. It might be useful." Leora froze for a moment, then laughed a soft, musical sound that turned heads even at this altitude. "You, my dear Alex, would make a terrible boyfriend." "Exactly," Alex said. "I'm perfect for pretending. No feelings involved, just pure practice." Her laughter faded into a sly smirk. "Then we'd better practice, convincingly." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Convincingly? You mean like a real couple? Out in public?" "Exactly," she said, her eyes glinting with amusement. "We have a gala tomorrow. Human and Valerian delegates will be there. You and I, attending together. Perfectly normal. If we act like a couple." Alex's grin widened. "A gala, huh? That's actually a lot of fun. I like this plan." Leora crossed her arms. "Don't get too excited. This is serious diplomacy. You mess up, and it's not just embarrassing. It could create a problem between our species." "Relax," Alex said, waving her warning away. "I can handle a little interspecies politics. Besides, I've got you to guide me." She rolled her eyes but didn't protest further. Somehow, Alex always had a way of making her smile, even when she pretended not to. The next morning, they began their practice. Alex arrived at Leora's quarters, carrying a tray of synthesized breakfast. He tripped over the threshold, nearly spilling it. Leora shook her head, suppressing a laugh. "This is why humans can't multitask," she said, guiding him inside. They started with simple things, walking side by side without bumping into anyone, sharing small talk, even pretending to whisper secrets. Alex found himself surprisingly good at it. Humans had an instinct for improvisation that Leora, despite her intelligence, couldn't fully mimic. And Leora was teaching him subtle cues. A tilt of the head, A slight change in tone. A look that said, more than words. "You're improving," she admitted one afternoon, adjusting the collar of his jacket, which had a faint smudge of grease from his work earlier. "Humans are surprisingly adaptable. See? I told you I was perfect for this," Alex said, grinning. Their sessions continued over the next few hours, and slowly, Alex realized he was enjoying the challenge. It wasn't just about pretending anymore. It was about learning Leora's world and her. She was meticulous, precise, and disciplined, and somehow, he found himself inspired by her focus. Meanwhile, the city buzzed around them. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved between hovering platforms. Some stopped to glance at the unusual pair, human and Valerian, together, laughing and chatting like equals. A few humans gave Alex approving nods. Some aliens looked confused. For the first time, Alex felt the unique thrill of human ingenuity being noticed in an alien-dominated world. However, not all attention was welcome. Unbeknownst to them, a small, sleek drone hovered silently above the platform. Its sensors were trained on Alex and Leora, transmitting data back to a hidden syndicate operating at the edge of the galaxy. The syndicate specialized in chaos, exploiting weaknesses in interspecies relations for profit and influence. A human pretending to be a diplomat's companion? That was exactly the kind of situation they could manipulate. Alex, oblivious to the drone, kept practicing a couple pose with Leora. "Okay, remember," he said, holding her hand awkwardly. "Eye contact. Not too long, not too short. And smile, naturally." Leora tilted her head, studying him. "You look ridiculous." "And you look terrifyingly convincing," Alex replied, still smiling. She rolled her eyes but allowed the handhold. "This isn't about looks. It's about appearances. If we can convince the delegates tomorrow, it will strengthen the perception of human-alien cooperation. Do you understand?" "Perfectly," he said, though he had only a vague idea of the politics involved. But he did understand teamwork, and he trusted Leora to guide him. That evening, as the artificial sun set over the floating city, Alex and Leora practiced one final time on the platform. They walked along the edge, hands linked, talking quietly about their plans. Leora glanced at him with a smirk. "You know, this might actually work." "Of course it will. Humans always find a way," Alex said, his eyes sparkling with mischief. She shook her head but couldn't hide her smile. "Don't let your ego get too big. You might be useful tomorrow. But if you fail, we both look foolish." "Challenge accepted," Alex said, giving her a playful wink. As the city lights shimmered below, the pair felt a strange mix of excitement and nervous anticipation. They were entering unknown territory, pretending to be a couple, navigating alien politics, and unknowingly attracting the attention of a dangerous syndicate. But one thing was certain. Humans had a way of rising to unexpected challenges, and Alex was ready to prove it. The morning sun glimmered across the floating city of Nuvira, bouncing off the sleek surfaces of hovering ships and glass domes. Alex zipped his jacket tight, adjusted his boots, and strode toward Leora's quarters. Today's practice was going to be more intense. "Ready for round 2? Leora asked as he stepped inside. She was dressed in a simple training uniform, her silver-tinted hair pulled neatly back. Her eyes sparkled with amusement. Alex grinned, holding up a small tablet. "I've prepared a schedule. Step 1, lunch. Step 2, walking in sync. Step 3, secret whispers. Step 4, smiles and subtle touches." Leora raised an eyebrow. "You really think this is a serious exercise?" "I know it is. Humans don't just improvise. We strategize," he replied confidently. Their first challenge was lunch. Not just any lunch, but a human alien-style cafe filled with dozens of species. Alex and Leora sat across from each other, trying to act like a couple. Alex attempted to pour a steaming beverage from a floating cup, but the anti-gravity tech made it wobble dangerously. He caught it with one hand and grinned. See? Smooth recovery. Very convincing. W-clom. 1. W-clom. Leora shook her head, hiding a smile. You're lucky no one saw that. Alex leaned forward. Or maybe they did, and they were impressed. They practiced small gestures, sharing bites of food, casual touches on the arm, and subtle leaning. Leora was precise, almost robotic at times, while Alex was creative, using human improvisation to cover mistakes. Slowly, the awkwardness began to fade. After lunch, they moved to a walking drill. The city's platforms were wide, but crowded. Humans, Valerians, and other alien species passed them by. The goal was simple. Walk side by side, maintaining balance, and look like they belonged together. Alex stumbled once on a shifting platform, but he quickly grabbed Leora's hand to steady himself. See? Perfect teamwork, he said. You're impossible. Leora muttered, though her lips curved slightly upward. By mid-afternoon, the pair tried whispering secrets. It was harder than it seemed. Leora's whispers were soft and melodic, carrying a subtle authority, while Alex's voice had a tendency to rise in pitch whenever he was nervous. You're supposed to sound natural, Leora said, correcting him. Not like a human trying to impress an alien audience. I am natural. Alex protested, though he toned his voice down. Humans are naturally expressive. She sighed but nodded. Fine. We'll work on it. But remember, tomorrow at the gala, every gesture and every word counts. The delegates will be watching closely. One mistake and the illusion ends. Alex's grin didn't falter. Then we better make it perfect. As the day progressed, they practiced subtle touches and glances. Alex discovered he could use humor to cover mistakes. A clumsy step, a misaligned handhold, or a sudden gust of wind that blew Leora's cloak. Leora, in turn, began to admire his ability to adapt instantly to new situations. Humans, she realized, had an instinct for survival and problem-solving that even disciplined Valerians sometimes lacked. By late afternoon, Alex and Leora took a break on a balcony overlooking the city. The platform stretched endlessly, and the glow of the distant planet bathed everything in soft blue light. They sat side by side, sipping glowing beverages, quietly observing the traffic of ships and people below. You know, Leora said, you're not as terrible at this as I thought. I knew it, Alex replied smugly. Humans excel in unusual situations. We improvise. We adapt. We survive. Leora glanced at him, shaking her head, though a smile tugged at her lips. Only when it's justified, he said with a wink. As the sun dipped lower, turning the city gold, something small and silent moved above them. A tiny drone hovered just beyond the edge of the balcony. It was sleek, black, and fast, too fast for a human to notice at first glance. Its sensors focused on Alex and Leora, recording their every move. This was no ordinary surveillance. It belonged to the Rogue Syndicate, the shadowy organization that sought to manipulate human-alien interactions for profit and chaos. The drone transmitted data back to a distant control station, where monitors displayed Alex and Leora's practice drills. The Syndicate had been waiting for a situation like this. A human, pretending to be a diplomat's companion? That was gold. Back on the balcony, Alex stretched and yawned. You know, I think we're ready for the gala. Don't get ahead of yourself, Leora said. You're good. Yes. But real situations are never this controlled. I thrive on chaos, Alex replied, looking up at the glowing sky. Remember that. Humans always thrive. The next day, they met again for a final rehearsal. This time, They practiced in a crowded area near the main transit hub. The goal was simple: interact naturally, while aliens and humans passed them by. Alex accidentally bumped into a Valerian delegate, but instead of embarrassment, he made a joke about anti-gravity shoes. The delegate laughed, and Leora's eyes widened in surprise. Alex had turned a potential disaster into an impression of charm. "You really do have a talent for this," Leora admitted quietly. "I told you," Alex said. "Humans are unpredictable in a good way. It's why we survive." End quote. They continued their practice until nightfall, their steps synchronized, their whispers perfectly timed, and their gestures fluid. They were becoming convincing. Even the tiny drone hovering nearby had trouble keeping up with their movements and interactions. Later, as they returned to Leora's quarters, she turned to Alex. "You know, if anyone ever doubted the value of humans in interstellar diplomacy, they would change their minds seeing you in action." Alex shrugged, pretending modesty. "It's not about me. It's about teamwork. Humans excel when we work together with others. And with you guiding me, I can't fail." For a moment, there was silence, only the soft hum of the city below. Then, as if sensing something, Alex glanced upward. He caught a flicker of movement, a shadow darting across the sky. "What's that?" he asked, squinting. Leora followed his gaze. "I don't know, but it might be nothing." She hesitated. "Stay alert tomorrow. The gala is going to be more than just practice. There's always someone watching, somewhere." Alex smiled. "Let them watch. Humans are ready for anything." The night passed quietly, but neither of them slept much. They both knew that tomorrow's gala was more than a social event. It was a test of skill, teamwork, and adaptability. And in a galaxy full of unknown dangers, the ability to think quickly and act creatively could mean the difference between success and disaster. As Alex drifted off to sleep, he thought about the day's lessons. Humans were clever, inventive, and persistent. And with Leora by his side, guiding him through alien customs and diplomacy, they had a chance to do something extraordinary. Leora, in her quarters, reflected as well. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but that unpredictability was also a strength. Alex's quick thinking and creativity were traits that could surprise even the most disciplined alien minds. Perhaps this fake relationship experiment was more valuable than she had initially imagined. And somewhere above the city, the Syndicate's drone continued to record, unnoticed by its targets. They were interested now, very interested. Alex and Leora's partnership had just become more than practice, it was a puzzle they wanted to exploit. But Alex and Leora had something the Syndicate could not calculate: trust in each other, human ingenuity, and the ability to turn unexpected situations to their advantage. The next day would test all of it, and the galaxy might just see that humans, even in unusual roles, could shine brighter than anyone expected. The day of the gala arrived with a sky painted in shades of violet and gold. The city of Nuvira shimmered under artificial lights as ships from across the galaxy descended onto its orbiting platforms. Humans, Valerians, and a host of other species mingled in excitement and anticipation. The gala was a celebration of cooperation, culture, and diplomacy. But it was also a test of skill and appearance. Alex adjusted his jacket for the third time that morning. "Do I look convincing?" he asked, turning in front of a mirror. Leora, standing nearby in an elegant silver-blue gown, raised an eyebrow. "Convincing enough. But remember, this is diplomacy, not a fashion show. Keep your manners, your expressions, and your improvisation in check." Alex grinned. "Got it. Manners, expressions, improvisation, check." As they entered the grand hall, Alex was struck by its magnificence. Holographic lights danced across the walls, and the air shimmered with soft energy fields that made floating decorations hover gracefully. Delegates from dozens of species moved between tables, their voices carrying a mix of tones and musical pitches. Humans and Valerians mingled carefully, observing each other with polite curiosity. Alex leaned close to Leora. "This is like one of those old human movies. So fancy. You can't even touch anything without breaking it." Leora chuckled softly. "Just follow my lead and avoid unnecessary attention." Their first challenge came almost immediately. A group of alien diplomats approached, curious about the human-Valerian pair. Alex offered a polite bow, his human instinct to gesture warmly helping him appear confident. "Greetings," said one of the Valerian delegates, her voice melodic and precise. "I see you are attending together." Alex smiled, linking his arm subtly with Leora's. "Yes, it is our honor to attend." Leora glanced at him and raised an eyebrow. He gave her a slight nod, the sign that he was aware of his body language. The delegate's eyes flicked between them, trying to measure the nature of their connection. "You are surprisingly well synchronized," the delegate observed. Alex grinned. "Practice makes perfect." The delegate smiled politely and moved on, clearly satisfied. Leora's lips curved in approval. "Not bad," she murmured. "You handled that well." As they moved further into the gala, Alex noticed small technical issues floating. Light panels flickering, hovering trays wobbling, but he quickly improvised. A flick of his hand adjusted a panel's alignment, and he subtly steadied a tray before it spilled its contents on an unsuspecting delegate. Leora's eyes widened in surprise. "I didn't realize humans could react that quickly," she whispered. Alex winked. "It's called instinct. We humans are flexible like that. When something goes wrong, we fix it." The gala's main event was a demonstration of cooperative technology between humans and Valerians. It was a dazzling display of lights, holograms, and floating energy cores. Suddenly, one of the energy cores started to flicker dangerously. Panic rippled across the hall. Delegates froze, unsure of how to react. Without thinking, Alex stepped forward. He scanned the control panel, adjusted a few settings, and stabilized the core. The holographic display corrected itself, and the delegates erupted into relieved applause. Leora glanced at him with astonishment. "That was incredible," she whispered. Alex shrugged, feigning modesty. "Just doing what humans do best. Improvise, under pressure." The rest of the evening was filled with challenges. Subtle social tests, questions from curious delegates, and awkward cultural misunderstandings. Every time a situation threatened to spiral out of control, Alex's quick thinking and adaptability saved the moment. At one point, a Valerian noble leaned over to ask Leora a private question. Alex noticed her discomfort and discreetly positioned himself to subtly block the view. When the noble's attention drifted, Alex diverted it with a clever comment about human architecture, earning a small chuckle. Leora gave him a grateful look, a silent acknowledgement of his presence and quick thinking. As the gala progressed, Alex realized that humans' ability to improvise wasn't just useful for fixing machines, it was equally valuable in social situations. Leora, despite her training and intelligence, began to appreciate this. Humans could navigate unpredictability in ways that even the most disciplined aliens could not. Meanwhile, the small syndicate drone continued to hover undetected near the ceiling. Its sensors recorded Alex's every move, analyzing his adaptability and predicting his responses. The syndicate operators leaned forward eagerly at the distant control station. "Interesting," one muttered. "This human. He's not ordinary." Back at the gala, Alex and Leora reached the observation balcony overlooking the city. From here, the lights of Nuvira sparkled like a sea of stars. They paused for a moment, taking it all in. "You handled tonight impressively," Leora said softly. "I admit, I underestimated humans." Alex smiled. "I told you, humans are full of surprises, flexible, inventive, capable of more than most think. Her eyes met his, and for a brief second, the pretense of their fake relationship felt real. She shook her head quickly, regaining composure. Focus. The gala isn't over yet. One more test remains. Their final test was the social dance, a Valerian tradition where partners moved in synchronized patterns across a floating platform. It required coordination, awareness, and subtle communication. Alex's first steps were awkward, but he quickly adapted to Leora's rhythm. Their movements flowed together, impressive enough to draw attention from other delegates. Halfway through the dance, a sudden technical glitch caused part of the platform to tilt. Alex reacted immediately, adjusting his stance and guiding Leora with a gentle pull. The tilt corrected itself without anyone noticing the potential danger. Leora's eyes widened in shock. "You really think fast," she said. "Instinct," Alex replied with a grin. "Humans can handle the unexpected." As the gala drew to a close, the chief diplomat approached them. His expression was approving, almost surprised. "You two, you complement each other well. That kind of coordination is rare. Excellent work tonight." Alex bowed, hiding his pride. Leora inclined her head politely. The praise was genuine, and for once, they both allowed themselves a moment of satisfaction. Once they were alone, Leora whispered, "You know, I think some humans are underestimated. Today, you proved that. You proved we can work together, in ways that benefit everyone." Alex smiled, the thrill of the evening still running through him. "And you proved that aliens can appreciate human unpredictability. Together, we're unstoppable." They left the gala under the soft glow of the city lights, unaware that the syndicate's drone had followed them closely. The operators were now fully interested, seeing Alex not just as a human, but as a remarkable anomaly capable of turning chaos into opportunity. Alex and Leora walked side by side, laughing softly at minor mishaps from the evening. For the first time, Leora truly understood why humans could succeed where rigid plans sometimes failed. Their partnership, though still partly a ruse, had demonstrated something bigger. That humans' ingenuity and courage could be a force even the galaxy had to respect. But even as they celebrated their success, shadows lingered in the corners of the orbiting platforms. The gala's audience had dispersed, but the syndicate had noted every detail. Alex and Leora had unknowingly attracted the attention of forces far beyond their understanding. Forces that would soon test not just their improvisation, but their trust, courage, and humanity itself. Alex glanced at Leora, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. "Tomorrow, we practice again?" Leora shook her head, smiling faintly. "Tomorrow, we wait. But we remain ready. The real test isn't over yet." As they looked out over the city, both felt a quiet thrill. The galaxy was wide, unpredictable, and full of challenges. But humans, Alex thought, always found a way to shine, even in the most unexpected roles. And somewhere above them, the drone quietly transmitted everything it had seen, ensuring that the syndicate would soon make its move. For now, Alex and Leora had succeeded in their first trial. They were convincing, confident, and in perfect sync. But the next chapter of their adventure was only beginning, and it would demand every ounce of human ingenuity and courage they could muster. The morning after the gala was quiet, almost deceptively so. The floating city of Nuvira glowed under the pale light of the orbiting sun. Alex and Leora were walking through the busy streets, reviewing the gala in their minds. "We did well last night," Alex said, adjusting his jacket. Leora nodded. "Yes. And your improvisation saved the day more than once. But remember, someone is always watching. Not everyone is friendly." Alex frowned slightly. "You think the syndicate is planning something?" Leora's eyes narrowed. "I can't be certain. But that drone hovering at the gala wasn't ordinary. The syndicate thrives on exploiting unusual situations. They might see us as opportunities. Alex grinned. Then we'll be ready. Humans always handle surprises. But neither of them could predict how quickly that surprise would arrive. It began with a low, humming sound from above. At first, it was subtle, easy to ignore, like a distant storm. Then, the hum grew louder, deeper, vibrating through the platforms and buildings. People stopped, looking upward. Some pointed, some ducked, instinctively. "What is that?" Alex asked, scanning the skies. Before Leora could answer, bright flashes lit the horizon. Small attack drones, sleek and black, descended from the sky. They moved with terrifying precision, firing energy pulses at the platforms. Panic erupted as the crowd scattered. "Stay calm," Leora said firmly, taking Alex's hand and pulling him toward the edge of a platform. "We need to protect the civilians first." Alex's mind raced. Machines, gadgets, improvisation. He had to use everything he had learned, and more. He scanned the nearby tech: floating service drones, energy shields, magnetic fields embedded in the platform edges. With a quick adjustment of a control panel, he repurposed a group of service drones to form a temporary barrier, deflecting the first wave of pulses. Leora coordinated with the Valerian security units. "Alex, push that console. Redirect the power to the central energy field." "On it," Alex shouted, his hands flying over buttons and holographic panels. Sparks flew as he rerouted the energy, reinforcing the platform's protective shield. Civilians huddled behind him, safe for the moment. The attack drones advanced relentlessly. They were small, fast, and deadly, programmed to exploit any weakness. But Alex's quick thinking and Leora's precise coordination turned the tide. Alex repurposed floating food trays into temporary energy reflectors, using their surfaces to deflect pulses back at the drones. Leora guided civilians through safe paths, her calm voice giving clear instructions amid the chaos. "Alex, another drone coming from the north," Leora called. He grabbed a hovering drone and threw it, redirecting its energy pulse to collide with the attacking drone. The pulse hit perfectly, sending it crashing into the edge of the platform. "You're amazing at this," Leora said, her voice a mixture of shock and admiration. "Humans truly think differently. You see solutions where others panic." Alex grinned, ducking a laser pulse. "Exactly. Improvisation is our secret weapon." The drones were relentless, but Alex and Leora worked together seamlessly. Each move by Alex was complemented by Leora's disciplined tactics. They had become a perfect combination: human unpredictability and alien precision. Amid the chaos, Alex noticed a control panel with a weak signal, a remote override for the drones. "Leora, if I can reach that console, I can shut down the attackers." "You might not have a second chance," Leora warned. "Go. I'll cover you." Alex dashed through the debris, dodging pulses and fallen panels. Leora blocked the drone's path with her own abilities, creating small energy barriers. Civilians continued to move to safety, guided by her calm voice. He reached the console, his fingers flying over the holographic keys. Energy circuits sparked, alarms blared. But he focused. With a final tap, the system shut down. The attacking drones froze mid-air, then collapsed harmlessly to the platform. The city erupted in cautious cheers. Alex exhaled, wiping sweat from his brow. Leora approached, her silver blue eyes shining with relief. "You did it," she said softly. "Humans really are remarkable." Alex shrugged, though a grin tugged at his lips. "We just handle things differently. Fast thinking, improvisation, teamwork. That's what makes humans valuable." Leora studied him for a moment. "And teamwork with aliens. Together, we can face anything. Today proves that." But the moment of relief was brief. A large shadow loomed above them, a massive syndicate mothership, sleek and dark, blocking out the sky. The attackers were not just drones. They were scouts for something far bigger. The syndicate had underestimated Alex and Leora, but now they had escalated the threat. Alex's eyes narrowed. "Looks like the real test has just begun." Leora nodded. "We need a plan, and we need to act fast." They quickly gathered civilians in a secure zone while Alex assessed available technology. Anti-gravity fields, energy shields, and repurposed drones. He had tools everywhere, and he knew how to make them work together. Leora coordinated with security forces, issuing instructions that combined alien precision with human adaptability. "Alex, we need to create a diversion," Leora said. "We can't take the mothership head-on yet." He thought for a moment. "I've got it. We can use the city's energy grid. Short pulses, misdirection, holograms. Make them think we're everywhere at once." "Do it," Leora said. Working together, they executed the plan. Energy pulses lit the sky. Holographic duplicates of themselves appeared across platforms, and drones zipped unpredictably in multiple directions. The syndicate was confused, unable to pinpoint their targets. "This is incredible," Leora whispered. "Humans really are unpredictable. And it works." Alex laughed, dodging a stray pulse. "Exactly. Unpredictability is our strength. Improvisation wins where planning alone fails." The syndicate's mothership retreated for the moment, perhaps reassessing the human threat. Alex and Leora remained vigilant, knowing that this was not over. As calm returned, Leora turned to Alex. "You saved many lives today. Not just by skill, but by thinking differently. Humans truly have unique strengths." "Enter." Alex shrugged, though he felt proud. "We're not invincible, but we adapt. That's what matters. And with you guiding me, we're unstoppable." They spent the rest of the day helping repair damaged platforms and checking on civilians. The city buzzed with whispers of the heroic human and the precise Valerian diplomat. News of their teamwork spread quickly, inspiring hope and admiration. By evening, as the city lights shimmered across the orbiting platforms, Alex and Leora finally had a quiet moment. "You know," Leora said, her tone thoughtful, "today could have gone very differently. Without your quick thinking, the outcome might have been disastrous." Alex smiled. "And without your guidance, I'd have been lost in a crowd of aliens and floating machines. Together, we're unstoppable." Leora studied him for a moment, her expression softening. "Perhaps there's more to humans than I realized. You're not just unpredictable. You're capable, brave, and clever." Alex grinned. "See? Humans get better with practice and teamwork." They walked in silence for a while, the hum of the city beneath them, reflecting on the day's events. The threat from the syndicate had been neutralized for now, but both knew it was only a matter of time before the next challenge arrived. Above them, a small black drone hovered silently, watching their every move. The syndicate was not finished. They had learned that these two individuals were extraordinary, and in the galaxy, extraordinary people were always dangerous to those who thrived on control and chaos. Alex glanced at Leora. "Do you think they'll come back?" "They will," Leora replied. "But so will we. Together." For the first time, Alex realized that their fake relationship had become something far more powerful than they had imagined. It was now a partnership forged in danger, strategy, and trust, a combination that could withstand almost anything the galaxy threw at them. And somewhere in the shadows, the syndicate plotted their next move, unaware that humans and aliens working together were capable of far more than they imagined. Alex and Leora stood side by side, watching the city shimmer in the twilight. The battle was over for now, but the adventure was far from finished. One thing was certain: Humans had shown the galaxy that courage, creativity, and adaptability could turn even the most dangerous situations into triumphs. And Alex? He was ready for whatever came next. The city of Nuvira was waking up to a new day, but the memory of yesterday's chaos still lingered. Hovering platforms hummed with energy, lights flickered as repairs were underway, and civilians moved cautiously through the streets, whispering stories of the brave human and Valerian duo who had turned the tide against the Syndicate's attack. Alex walked alongside Leora, scanning the city for any sign of lingering threats. "Feels strange," he said. "Yesterday was chaos. Today, everything seems normal. Almost peaceful." Leora nodded. "For now. But the galaxy doesn't stay quiet for long. The Syndicate will regroup. They are clever, and they do not forgive mistakes." Alex grinned. "Then we'll be ready. Humans are good at handling surprises. You've seen that." They arrived at the central plaza, where the city council had gathered to acknowledge those who had saved countless lives. Holo banners displayed their images: Alex, the human improviser, and Leora, the calm and precise diplomat. Civilians and delegates alike had left messages of admiration. "Look at that," Alex said, pointing. "We're famous." Leora gave him a small smile. "Not for fame. For results. For saving lives." The council approached them, their expressions formal but warm. "Alex," "Leora," began the head counselor, a tall Valerian with shimmering eyes. "Your actions yesterday demonstrated not only skill and bravery, but also the power of human-alien cooperation. We are grateful." Alex bowed slightly. "Thank you, counselor. We only did what anyone would do." "I am cried." Alex bowed. "I am clued. For ready, we nut." Leora's gaze met his, a quiet acknowledgement passing between them. "Maybe," Alex replied. "But humans have a way of turning impossible situations into opportunities. Improvisation, teamwork, and trust. That's what we bring to the galaxy." The council nodded in agreement. "Your partnership has set an example for all species. The galaxy sees that humans are capable not only of courage, but also of adaptability and quick thinking. Today, we honor you both." The plaza erupted in applause. Delegates from multiple species stepped forward to shake their hands, offer praise, and express admiration. Alex felt a surge of pride, not just for himself, but for humans everywhere. As the crowd settled, Leora leaned close. "You see? Your actions have made a difference. Humans are valued, respected, and recognized." Alex chuckled. "And here I thought humans were just lucky improvisers. Turns out, we're important too." But the celebration was not just for recognition, it was also a warning. Somewhere in the galaxy, the Syndicate watched, analyzing, and plotting their next move. Yet, Alex and Leora had shown something the Syndicate could not predict: the strength of humans working together with others, combining creativity, courage, and adaptability with discipline and strategy. The rest of the day passed with meetings, debriefings, and interviews. Alex found himself explaining human problem-solving methods to alien delegates, while Leora described his methods with pride. Together, they had created a bridge of understanding between species, a bridge built not just on skill, but on respect. Later, as the sun set and the city shimmered under twilight, Alex and Leora found a quiet spot overlooking the platforms. The city below buzzed with life, and distant stars twinkled above. "You know," Leora began, "all this started as a joke. A fake relationship to help me practice diplomacy. But it became something meaningful." Alex smiled, taking her hand gently. "I knew it wasn't just practice. I felt it when we worked together at the gala, when we fought the drones, And when we protected the civilians, we're stronger as a team. Leora's eyes softened. Yes. And it's more than just skill or strategy. It's trust. I trust humans, especially you, to act, to adapt, to think in ways I can't predict. And that makes all the difference. Alex laughed softly. Humans always surprise. That's our superpower. But I couldn't do it without you guiding me. Without your precision, your calm, your understanding of the bigger picture, we would have failed. For a moment, they just watched the city, side by side. The bond they had formed through practice, the gala, and the attack had grown stronger than either had anticipated. The pretense of their fake relationship had evolved into genuine respect, admiration, and a connection that went deeper than either could have predicted. As night fell, a small alert flickered across the city monitors. A minor syndicate reconnaissance vessel had been spotted near the outer orbit. It was small, harmless for now, but a reminder that the threat was not gone. Alex glanced at Leora, determination in his eyes. They're still out there, he said. But let them come. We can handle it. Leora nodded. Together. The next morning, the city hosted a commemorative event. Delegates from multiple species attended to honor Alex, the human hero, and Leora, the diplomat who had guided him. Children waved small flags of humans and Valerians alike, and citizens cheered. Alex and Leora stood side by side on a raised platform, smiling as the crowd applauded. You know, Alex said quietly, this is incredible. Humans are being celebrated across the galaxy. And deservedly so, Leora replied. Your ingenuity, courage, and adaptability are now known. You've shown the galaxy that humans, though young as a species among others, can rise to challenges no one expects. Alex smirked. I guess humans really are something to be proud of. The crowd continued cheering, and delegates approached them to discuss future cooperation. Alex and Leora listened, exchanged ideas, and even shared small demonstrations of their teamwork. Alex explained his methods of improvisation and problem-solving, while Leora provided insights into alien customs and diplomacy. Together, they were not just a duo. They were a symbol of interstellar cooperation. Later, in a quiet moment away from the crowd, Alex turned to Leora. So, what now? Do we keep pretending, or do we admit this wasn't really fake? Leora's lips curved into a small, knowing smile. I think even we know the answer. What began as a joke has become real in its own way. We've proven humans are capable. And we've proven that we work together. That's real. Alex laughed softly. Humans always find a way. Don't we? Yes. Leora agreed. And together, humans and Valerians, we can face anything. Lee and for Lee, their partnership had transformed. It was no longer about pretending for appearances or winning approval at a gala. It was about trust, teamwork, and the realization that humans had a unique place in the galaxy, adaptable, clever, and capable of remarkable courage. As the stars sparkled above the floating city, Alex felt a quiet pride. The humans' journey had begun in jest, but it had grown into something extraordinary. They had faced challenges, proved their worth, and earned the respect of allies and even potential rivals. And somewhere far in the shadows, the syndicate was still watching, still plotting. They had learned a valuable lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their ingenuity, adaptability, and courage could turn the tide of any battle, social, political, or otherwise. Alex turned to Leora one last time. Whatever comes next, we handle it together? Together, Leora said firmly, taking his hand. For the first time in their unusual partnership, they understood the full truth. Humans were more than clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. They were brave, capable, and when paired with the right allies, unstoppable. The galaxy had taken notice, and Alex felt a surge of hope. Perhaps humans were young among the stars, but they were rising, and with trust, courage, and ingenuity, they would continue to shine, undaunted by any challenge, unbroken by any threat, and forever remarkable in the face of the unknown. As the floating city of Nuvira glittered below, Alex and Leora looked toward the stars. Their adventure was far from over, but they were ready. The galaxy was wide, unpredictable, and full of challenges, and humans had just proven they could rise to meet them all. And so, their story continued. A story of courage, ingenuity, and the unstoppable force of humans working alongside allies, building a brighter, safer galaxy.